how are we all affording life right now? Like gas, groceries, rent, childcare, interest rates are going up, Tipflation. Literally, it feels like everything is going up besides our pay. And I don't even think that you have to be a single parent to be feeling the squeeze. Like, I've been snooping around online and see that, you know, single people are feeling the squeeze. They don't even have kids. 2-income households are feeling the squeeze. And it's like the world is changing, but when it comes to finances, I'm not quite sure if it's changing for the better. Like, adult kids are having to stay home a lot longer, and it's not because of a personal choice. Like, they literally cannot afford to get their own place right now. People are holding off on having children, or just flat out making the decision to not have kids at all because it's so expensive right now. And you know, it's kind of discouraging. So what can we do? What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I don't think that it is any surprise that life is really expensive right now. Like, it's getting really difficult to save and invest for our future, which is, you know, the number one advice that everyone gives: save and invest for your future. And it's really hard if you're a parent to do that for your kids right now. And while I would love to give you some life-changing tips that could just help you soar throughout these times, we're all just trying to survive. And I feel like everyone has such a unique situation, and maybe not unique, but just their own personal situation, that it would be really hard to give like these tips and think that it would apply to everyone. So I'm just going to be kind of talking through what has helped me stay afloat right now, and just some really realistic tips that will just help you during these times maintain what you have accomplished this far. First and foremost, you are not a failure. You are not a failure. I think it's really important to say that and start off with that, because I see just a lot of comments from people who are feeling so down about their situation. But if everything is going up except for your pay, then obviously that's going to make it very difficult for you to progress financially. So it's really important to talk about this. And the generic stop buying $5 coffees is just not going to work right now. And that is coming from, I don't even know what to call myself, an ex-personal finance creator concerning the Instagram world. It's going to help in some way. It's going to help you establish that discipline that you need to stay within whatever amounts that you've budgeted. But when it comes to actually like being the deal breaker, a $5 coffee, sis, is just not going to help you progress right now. It's not going to make that much of a difference. And focusing on the big fish, not the small fish, is what I would always number one recommend. And when I say small fish, I'm talking about, you know, hell, a $10 subscription, your $5 coffee here and there. Now, if you're spending $5, maybe $10 on coffee every single day, yeah, that can turn into big fish. But if it's every so often, it's probably not gonna make that big of a deal. And we'll circle back to coffee in just a minute. And big fish, I'm talking about the expenses in your budget that are taking up the most room. I'm talking about rent, maybe your large debt payments, your car, and things like that. Those things are really going to move the needle. And that was something that really helped me during my first debt-free journey, was stop spending all of this time nitpicking over the small fish and really focus and hone in on the big fish, because that's going to free up the most money in my budget, so I can apply those funds to things that are going to help me progress faster. And then that way I could actually keep my small fish, like my coffee here and there. I didn't have to give that up. And I just feel like right now it's just it's so easy to get caught up and like mass hysteria. There are so many stories about, you know, job loss and groceries and tipflation and things like that, and it can be really easy to lose your grip when it comes to social media, because we are exposed to so many different fear-provoking stories, and it can be easy to feel like there's no hope. But here, I just hope that I offer a safe space for you to have a little glimpse of hope and light in your life. And I hope that me sharing my story, whether it's the ups or the downs, can help inspire and motivate you, and give you a different perspective than maybe some news article. But anyway, yes, I recommend focusing on the big fish. Like, take a look at your budget, list out all of your monthly expenses, even if it doesn't even have to be monthly at this point. It could be every 3 months, whatever. All of your expenses that you're paying for regularly, and separate your big fish from your small fish. What are the small fish expenses and what are the big fish expenses? And then take a look at your big fish expenses and try to see if there is a way to reduce those expenses. I also want to go back to, you know, the coffee example, and it doesn't even have to be coffee. It's just something that brings you joy. I am someone that eventually, as I progressed throughout my journey, I had to stop using that stop buying $5 coffee example, because I realized what it was doing, and what actually doing, and the message that it was giving off to people. If you're living in a world, let's just take single parents for an example, because I'm a single mom. And I know a lot of you watch me. If you're a single mom, you're busting your sugar day in and day out, right? Things are going up. Your income is not really going up much, I'm assuming. And so it's getting harder, you know, to pay your bills, and everything is on you, and that's a heavy load to carry. And it can be scary. Like, you can lay down at night and be just completely paralyzed by anxiety, because if you fall off, literally the whole house crumbles, because everything is riding on your back, right? Everything is taking away. And me saying stop buying $5 coffees to save, hell, $50 a month, that's saying that I know you're miserable, I know you're busting your ass, I know you're working hard, and it feels like you're not making progress, but I need you to take away this little piece of joy too, right? To save $50 a month. Let's just say it's $50 a month. May not even be that much. I realized what that message was saying was take away your little piece of joy. Your trip to the coffee shop, or whatever it is that you're doing that brings you joy in your present, that may be the only time where you're feeling any type of joy, any type of fulfillment, where you're feeling like, you know, you can actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. And my little trips to the coffee shop, those were my little Zen moments. Like, it was the experience. It wasn't even necessarily the coffee. If you're a Starbucks girl, you know sometimes the coffee is just not what you expected it to be. But it was the experience of going to the coffee shop and going in and hearing the music and smelling the coffee. Like, that was my thing. And that really kept me sane during the times where I felt like I was losing my grip. So I do want to mention, like, you have to do something in your day to day to motivate you to keep going, because if you're just taking away, what is the point of continuing on if you just feel like, you know, the harder you work, the more you're going to have to give away? Like, you have to take yourself out of the future and place yourself in the present. And I know when it concerns finances, a lot of times we're living in the future. We are trying to save for the future, our future selves, our children, things like that. So it's very hard to be present in the present, but you have to find a way to give yourself a little spark of joy here and there in the now. Just take care of who you are in the now. Another thing I want to talk about is, like, please do not quit your job. This is not the time to be quitting your job without, you know, something lined up. And I've been seeing a lot of talk recently online, like through Reddit and everything, about how everyone is hiring, but no one is really hiring, you know? There are people who have master's degrees and years of experience who have been trying to find a job for months and they're feeling discouraged. I read some comments under a reel not too long ago when someone said she had a master's and she has been trying to find a job for 6 months and she's been rejected every single time. And I remember when tech was hot. I don't know if the get into tech era is still hot right now. I'm kind of out the loop when it comes to that. But I remember like brushing off my resume. Girl, I was getting on LinkedIn. And this was also in the era where the pandemic was starting and everyone was getting, starting their businesses, saying, F these jobs, we can work for ourselves and live our own lives and have our own schedules. And they don't deserve us. They should be paying us way more for our skills. And some of that is true. A lot of that is true, actually. And so it was like the massive quit. Everyone was quitting, right? And I was like, yeah, I should be getting paid more. Like, I feel like if this was you and you were indecisive about your job, like you liked parts of it, but you disliked parts of it, which is normal, being in the thick of this era, it's gonna have you lean more towards the F this job side, right? And so I'm on LinkedIn, I'm applying for jobs in tech because I'm gonna keep it honest, just because of the salary. I just wanted a 6-figure salary. I'm like, I could be getting paid 6 figures for what I do. But there was also this part of me that's like, where is the stability in this? And being a single parent, like I am fully responsible for 2 human beings. I literally cannot F up. I don't have any wiggle room. I have no plan B. If I fall, my whole household fall because I'm the head of my household, right? And so I'm like really thinking about it. Dyana, where is the stability in this? You have good benefits with your job. You like your job for the most part. You can't just up and quit. That's not even an option. You're doing this solely for the income. And it's during like this massive quit where everyone's going after these certain type of positions. It just kind of felt very unstable. And long story short, God slapped the back of my neck with a sandal, sis, like, pow, and told me to sit down somewhere. And not long after that, people were announcing their layoffs. Like, making big money, they were announcing their layoffs, which makes sense because if you're making a lot of money and a company needs to scale back, like you costing them a lot of money, you're gonna have to go. And I remember thinking, thank God I did not up and quit, because I may have very well been laid off as well. And then now it's hard to get a job and I would be looking for a position for a while. So if you can tolerate your job and you make enough to cover your expenses, please consider staying. I'm not saying stay long term, but stay until you have something lined up, which is, the advice that a lot of people give. Do not make the jump until you have something lined up. But now on the other hand, I know what it's like to be in a position where you just feel absolutely miserable. You don't want to get out the bed. You're in a depressive state. Like it pains you to walk through the doors or just to log on to your computer. Your mental health comes first. So I recommend, taking that up with God, the divine, the creator, whoever it is that you pray to. If you don't pray, take it up with your mama, your uncle, whoever, and really think through the pros and cons. And if that leads you to quitting before you have something lined up, okay, life goes on. And just remember to try to prepare as best as you can before you make that jump. And if you do consider staying, like really take advantage of the resources and programs that your company offers. When I was trying to get out of my position and promote, I took mentorship programs. I got a mentor and I took some classes to get certified so that I could look a bit better than other applicants. And so if you have that available to you, be sure to enroll and take advantage of those, because those are often free. And this way you are, learning new skills, you are sharpening skills, you are getting certified while you are trying to plan your escape. All right. Okay, let's talk about expectations for a bit. This has been the hardest adjustment for me, is lowering my expectations. Right now, if you are a single parent, I don't feel like this is the time to be super ambitious. And I'm a woman of faith, okay? Whatever I do, I have full faith. I'm 10 toes behind my decision. But I also know that I can't be no fool, right? And so maybe there is no specific goal for you right now. And that is okay. Whatever direction that I switch up and take my finances in right now, honestly, is just the main thing right now is stability. That is the common denominator in anything that I'm doing. I'm just trying to be stable and maintain what I have accomplished. I am no longer living 5 to 10 years out. I am trying to stay right here, right now, because as an adult, I've never been in like a recession. I don't even know if they are calling this a recession just yet, if they're saying that it is, but I feel it. Like, I've never been an adult when the economy has kind of like gone downhill. And I am just right now, I have to focus on maintaining. I would love to save and invest and prepare to give my children a solid foundation when they become adults and leave the home. But I have to focus on the right now, because I don't know, and we don't know what we're facing here soon. Like, we don't know month to month what's going to happen. And that is the scariest thing for me, because it seems like everything is just steadily increasing. And I know that they say, from what I read, inflation is kind of leveling out, but it seems like I'm still having to adjust my budget and increase the amount that I'm applying to gas and groceries and things. And I'm going to be honest, like, I've had to lower our contributions. I said it. I'll say it when my chest poked out. I have had to lower our contributions. So the amount that's going in my Roth IRA, my kids' UGMA accounts, their 529, my kids' custodial Roth IRAs, like the amount has had to be lowered so that I can apply those funds to what we need right now. Like, you need you right now. Your kids need you right now to stay right here. And sometimes that may require you to like just completely press pause on things. Once again, which is not very personal finance creator of me, but you have to do what you have to do to survive. And I'm the queen of make it do what it do. And I have to make sure that I can take care of my kids no matter how bad the economy gets. Honestly, I have not been doing anything special, anything super ambitious, anything life-changing. I have just been sticking to a budget. I have my budget. I've been having to adjust my budget, you know, it seems like every other month, but I'm trying my best to stick to my budget, to cut back on eating out and everything just to save money. But I'm also realizing that I have to live life. Yes, I have to be a good steward of my finances, but once again, being in the present, I have to realize, like, I'm never going to get this version of myself back. You're never going to get this version of yourself back. So what can you do to bring joy to your life right now, today, but still be financially responsible? And the two are not mutually exclusive. Once again, you can be a good steward of your finances and still find a way to enjoy your life experience now. Like, how are you experiencing life, you know? All right, so my camera got a little hot, but besides having a budget and sticking to it, lowering my contributions, lowering my expectations, I also have other sources of income. Like, I cannot just depend on my 9 to 5. I would not be able to afford all of my expenses if I did. So I have to make sure to keep the train rolling on those things as well. With that, I do not like hustle culture. I like rest, but I also realize that you can be resting a little too much. Like, you have to get up and work your seed that God has given you, because faith without works is dead. Like, you have to be disciplined. Like sometimes that means, you know, picking ourselves up, putting our emotions aside, and getting up and doing the work.
Mom, I need to sneeze.
Why do you have to sneeze in here though?
Because I have to.
I don't even know where I left off. But yeah, I realized that, you know, I got into a bit of a lazy slump with the whole soft life thing. And so I'm just trying to find a balance. And as a single parent, yeah, you're going to overwork yourself a little bit. It's just going to happen. You are the only adult in the household. And if you are the only one financially taking care of your kids, it's just going to happen. And so I have to be okay and accept that. I'm going to have to overwork myself a little bit. But once again, I am working on finding little bits of joy that I can afford in my day-to-day as well. Okay, I don't even know. I don't even know if I had any tips or advice in this. But I just wanted to create like, I guess like a little Reddit forum in video format, letting you know like your fears and your concerns and your feelings, they are valid right now during these times. Like I've never experienced anything like this as an adult. As a child, I don't remember that. I don't remember when the economy was declining. I don't remember that. That didn't affect me. I was oblivious as a child, but as an adult, like it's scary. It's scary. I don't know what is coming next. I don't know if things are going to get better, if they're going to get worse. All I know is that I have to survive and I have to make it, and I have to take care of myself and my 2 kids, and I just have to keep going with the flow and adjusting as things change. And I really want you guys to chime in the comments, even if you just need like a safe space to vent, let it be done. But as we're venting and talking about our struggles and concerns, I do encourage you to, once you get that off your chest, like just make a plan of action and the direction that you want to go, and to stay consistent with it and go about it without the spirit of fear, like moving forward. Even when you feel those emotions of fear, you're not being led by the spirit of fear, because you're continuing to go towards whatever it is that you're working toward. That is something that I feel like I've gotten very good at, and that has been very helpful when it comes to me and what I've accomplished. Like I can't deal with the spirit of fear. I'm going with fear. I just kind of have to move with fear. And if I have the vision, then I know that I have the provision, and I'm going to continue to go towards it. But I'm really curious, like, how are we all affording life right now? Like, how are you having to adjust your budget? Have you had to pick up extra shifts at work? How has, you know, inflation impacted your life? What are your concerns? What tips that do you have for the people that are going to be scrolling through the comment section? Just chime in below. But I just please leave this a safe space for people to just come on here and vent and express themselves, because they may not have a place elsewhere that they could do it. And I will catch you guys in the next video.